All right, another day in the shop. We have a new order for a couple tabletop planters. So let's get everything set up and get going. Grabbed our cedar fence picket here and measure it out, cut the first 4 pieces, get that assembled, and then we'll figure out the legs and how high, and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, so now got our 4 pieces. Let's see how long we want the legs here. I would say probably 7.5 should be fine. So let's do that. Looks good. Okay. So let's see, for our legs, for the width, what do we want to do? Maybe 1.5. That's pretty close. I don't know, 1 is too thin. I go 1.5. Let's see how that looks. So that's pretty good there. Let's go see how that looks. Let's see how we're gonna be. Like that and like that. That's pretty good. Any thinner than that, I don't know. All right, we've got our 4 sides and our 8 legs, so let's get them sanded up and get assembling. All right, now that all the pieces are sanded up, we're going to go ahead and start assembling, and we're just going to use some 1-inch brads and some Titebond 3 wood glue. Let's get to it. All right, so we're just going to make one side at a time here. So just kind of see where the glue needs to go. rub that in so we get good contact everywhere. And it would help if I had a little rag to wipe, so I can grab that real quick. Alright, so just use a blue shop towel, get it wet. It's nice that we put it down. Alright, so let's line up the top here. And one thing to note, a lot of these boards are cupped, right? So I usually put I forget whether it's the crown or the cup, I think it's the crown faces up, is what I like to do. Alright, that's lined up nicely. And put a couple of pads in. Good. Now let's go to the other side. Line it up nicely as well. That looks good. Alright, and then there is side one. So now we'll just repeat that again and then we'll put it all together here. Alright, so we have our two sides done. So we have the legs put on with our side. Now we just need to attach the other sides here. They're just going to sit in like that, and then we'll put everything together and see how it turned out. Now this part is the tricky one. So you want to get everything set so that it sits flush, otherwise you're going to have wobble. And I found that out the hard way before, so I'm going to try it like this time. Put the glue both sides. That spread. So previously I had this sitting flat. I would go and I would cap it, but then I noticed there was wobble and I'd have to adjust the legs. So this time I'm going to try it like this. See if that makes it better. Make sure everything is sitting flush here. The challenge with this one is going to be this initial brad. We got it. So now this other one, we should be sitting pretty good on this. There we go. Sitting flush, sitting nice. Now let's just grab these bottoms in. Pretty good, looks good. All right, so there's our little square planter here. So now we just need to do the top trim and we need to get the bottom board in. All right, so to hold our baseboard in, we're just going to put two pieces on the side here, and I have this little piece of scrap. So we're just going to cut this guy to length here and get him in. So we don't want the full. About right there is fine. That. Let's just switch over here. Grab a blade. These are super handy, but sometimes they're a pain to get in. Or did I have it backwards? I had it backwards. There we go. All right. This guy. Borrow your battery. Nice and easy. Ooh, let's do the second one. Just kind of rough it. Looks about right. Boom. There's our two pieces. Nice and easy. Now we can just fix that up a little bit. Alright, look at that. That'll sit right in there. That'll sit right in there. That'll hold our boards up just fine. Alright, so let's just get these into place. Now with these ones, I don't have any nails that are going to be small enough here, so we're just going to have to wait for the glue to dry on these guys before we can put the baseboards in. So, got that in. Grab a small clamp. Hold those in place. All right, and give that like, I don't know, half an hour or so. And then we'll come back and we'll get the base plate and the top trim put in place, and we should be good to go. All right, so while we wait for these pieces to dry, let's get this base piece cut and ready. So let's see what we got here. So yeah, like 4 1/4 for the width here. So we can do that. Alright, so we'll do, what do we say, 4 1/4? Okay, 4 1/4 there for the width. And then the length, what do we need? We do 5 1/4. And that should be plenty good. There we go, 5 1/4. Alright, let's go make some cuts. Alright, there's our piece. So that should do it. Alright, and we'll test that out as soon as it dries and make any adjustments if we need to. Alrighty, our bottom pieces should be dry. Let's check it out. Yep, those are good. Let's see how our piece fits. There we go, like a glove. That'll do. Yeah, there's still plenty of gap along the edges for the water to get out. So we are good on that. Last thing to do is just the trim on the top here. So let's get that going. So inside, what do we got? 5 1/2. And we need like 1 1/2 of overhang here. Alrighty, so I have a piece, an extra piece right here. This will work. So we want about 1.5 of overhang. So let's do that. What do we got? It's about 1.5. That'll do. We'll cut to length in a minute here. Let's get this plugged in. Right. Get our ears on. Alright, let's rip her down. Unplugged, shut off for safety there. Yeah, what do we got? We got about our 1.5. That's perfect. Alright, so now we'll do our first cut. Yeah, that'll work. That looks about good. Alright. So let's get going over here. Let's grab our ears back again. Get this guy in. Do a 45. Okay, there's the first one. So now, go over here. That should be all right. Right up on the board. So we'll do our inside right there. Okay. Alright, so we actually, if we cut like that, I need to go over here. So up. There we go. That is our inside line right there. Okay. First piece. Alright, looks good. Alright. So let's do the other one. Alrighty. So I got this guy. Yeah. Right. So we got our two pieces here. Okay, now we're just going to approximate everything instead of measuring. So now let's just do this guy here. And we'll go down. Same dealio. Let's see. About right there. Okay. Of course, is. There we go. Right there, it's about good. All right, last piece. Measure up. Just made it. Look at that. All right, let's try it out. Yeah, look at that. That's looking pretty good. All right, so I like to do my corners. Now I know you could just glue and tack onto these, and that works. Maybe we will just do it like that this time. I think we will for this build. All right. Go. End pieces are a little thirsty here. All right, there we go. Little glue. All right. There we go. Do this guy. Sure everything lines up here. Looks good. There we go. Little planter. Nice and easy, pretty quick, simple build, little desktop. All right, so now we can sand this top down real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get the tung oil on everything. All right, planter's all coated in tung oil, but now let's go ahead and brand the bottom of the base plate. Iron should be heated up. It's been about 10-15 minutes. So let's make sure we're up, facing the right way, and let's get it in. All right, give it a couple rocks. Ooh, got stuck. There we go. Not bad, a little fuzzy. Maybe a little bit too much on that one, but there you go. All branded, good to go. Alrighty, there we have it. One small planter done. I think it turned out pretty good. Looks nice, has the nice trim, has that nice tung oil finish on it. So we're going to let that cure for a little bit, and then it will be good to go. Thanks a bunch.